Okay, thank you for your patience there while we work through some of those technical difficulties, this time with the phone line. Um, just a note to our speakers, we can hear you fine, or we will be able to hear you fine here in the chamber. But a note to our counselors in the chamber, not to get too close to your microphones, otherwise the audio will be distorted. And this is due to the technical issue. So just recommending that you stay about a hand lengths away from your face to the microphone, and that should hopefully um, prevent any distortion. So we concluded item 8 before the recess there, and now we are moving on to the last item on the agenda. That is the referred motion increasing the climate smart supply of renewable energy in Vancouver. Members motion B2, introduced and moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor Boyle. And we will now hear from speakers on this motion. And our first registered speaker is on the line, Nathan Davidowitz. I'm so sorry, Nathan. I have a difficulty saying your name, but I'm going to learn it soon. Can you hear us okay, Nathan? Just double check and make sure Nathan's on the line and can hear us. Is we're checking? Yeah. Just bear with us for a moment here. Okay, thanks for your patience there. We don't have speaker number 1 on the line or speaker number 2. Yep, Councillor Carr.
Anyway, one of them is saying access code is no longer valid, waiting for a new one. The other one is I don't have a link or phone number sent to me yet, so they're not able to access.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Carr. I'll confer with staff on that. I do apologize to the speaker who is on the phone, but unfortunately we are going to have to take another recess for a couple minutes just to sort out these technical issues.
Hi, Christine. Can you hear me on the line?
Hello.
Hi, this is the city
Yes.
moderator. Hi. Okay, great. Perfect. So you can hear us clearly in the chamber?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We'll get to you shortly, so just stay on the line. Thank you for your patience. Number 3, that's speaker number 3, Christine, yes. And number 5 is not on the line yet. Great, number 2 is on the line as well.
2, 3, 4, 6, 9 on.
Okay. So, okay, to
And
start.
just this.
I'll just do one quick check with another speaker just to make sure we're all right. Hi, Luis. This is the city moderator. I'm just a quick test with you to make sure you can hear me on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. And we can hear you fine as well. Just be
Okay.
patient. We'll get to you shortly. Thanks so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
So it seems to be working. We are connecting through. I think we could. This is the city moderator. All speakers, please remain on the line. We'll hear you shortly. Please remain on the line. Thank you.
About this audio technical issue, but we are going to resume our speakers. And just a reminder, this is the Climate Smart Supply renewable energy in Vancouver, members motion B2, introduced and moved by Councillor Carr. So that's just a reminder for you. And let's go to speaker, I believe number 2, who's on the line. Dr. Singh, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Perfect. So please go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thanks for hearing me tonight, especially at the end of a very long day and the added technical difficulties. So I'll keep it short and fast so that we don't have to stay much longer. I don't know how many speakers we have, and I don't want you to spend much longer in council chambers. I'm Dr. Devyani Singh. I'm a resident of Vancouver. I'm a scientist working on climate and energy policy, and I have expertise in energy transition. I've also worked previously with a couple U.S. cities on creating just climate action plans. Tonight, I'm speaking in support of the motion on increasing the climate smart supply of renewable energy in Vancouver and on the importance of planning for a climate resilient future. There is scientific consensus on the need to transition away from fossil fuel use towards clean and renewable energy. And this does not include fracked or natural gas, which gets put across as clean energy. Whether we like it or not, there is an energy transition coming in the next decade or so. This is led globally by concerned citizens and governments, and including by our very own Vancouver city. We are a climate conscious city, and we can plan for the future, or we can spend millions more later to adapt to the changing climate. The city of Vancouver has a 50% greenhouse gas reduction target for 2030, and currently we're only at about a 15% reduction. So how do we plan to fill this gap? Given that most of our emissions are from buildings and transport, we will need to transition away from gas for heating and for driving. This means more electric vehicles. I think in 2021 there were already 12% of total vehicle sales, increased uptake of heat pumps, and also the fact that by 2030 all new buildings will be zero emissions. This means there will be an increased need for clean energy and electricity supply. But there is the issue that in coming years we will be facing increasing climate disasters. Look at what's happening in California right now. Look at what happened to us in 2021. It cost the city millions of dollars, and we still have not fixed some of those damages. Additionally, when these climate disaster events happen, there are people who end up without access to power from the grid. And this will become more and more common as the climate crisis becomes worse. So we need to ensure two things. One is ample access to clean energy for the city of Vancouver, and also to build local resilience of our energy production. So where will this clean energy come from? There's latest BC Hydro reports do not guarantee enough clean energy beyond 2030 to meet the increased supply. This means as a city, we are going to be, as a city, we are also going to be building a lot more housing, and because we are seeing an influx of people in the coming decade. So we need to ensure that we are building for the future, and that all the new infrastructure and existing one is relevant in a fast-changing climate, say 10, 20, or even 50 years from now. We don't want it to be defunct or useless infrastructure that will need millions to retrofit at a later stage. And who will bear this cost then? Will it be government at what level, or will it be the people who are already facing enormous rise in the cost of living these days? So we need to think beyond. We need to continue being the climate leaders that we have been in the past as the city of Vancouver. We need to think beyond these election cycles. So I ask you, will this council be visionary and be proactive, or will it leave future residents to bear the cost of climate impacts? In fact, I just read today that rooftop solar in households and other buildings in Western Australia generated about 70% of its electric demand. Yes, it's one day, but each day adds up. Thus, I urge the Mayor and Council to vote in favor of the motion on increasing the climate-smart supply of renewable energy in Vancouver as a first step in ensuring a climate-resilient future for us all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Dr. Singh. You have questions from Councillor Carr.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. I just really want to say thank you for persisting to get on the line. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.
I have the YouTube on, but I see someone speaking, but I can't hear anymore. If you can hear me, I don't have voice again.
Can you hear me, Dr. Singh? It's Peter here, the chair. Are you able? Do you hear me? Are you still there?
The clerks. You ask?
Yeah, the YouTube link is showing me there's probably some speaking happening.
Can you hear? You can't hear us. Let's just recess for a minute here. Recess the meeting. Yeah.
This is the city moderator. Can you hear me on the line, speaker? Dr. Singh, can you hear me?
Point of procedure, Chair.
Yes, Councillor Kirby-Young.
I note that 9 p.m. now, and we've been having technical difficulties throughout the day and now for over half an hour, which is a very disjointed experience both for council and the members of the public. And at this point, my feeling is that it would make sense to just recess this meeting to the next future date to complete this.
Noted. And
So I'd like to move to refer speakers and debate and decision on this item to the next scheduled date as advised by the clerk.
I would agree with that approach, and I'll call for a vote. One moment while we
It can, I think it can be, it's unfinished business, maybe the first item. That way we're not coming back for a reserve date.
Yep, I would be amenable to that. Thank you, Councillor Dominato.
So just so I am 100% sure here, a motion to defer speakers.
Motion to refer the remaining speakers, debate and decision, so I'm just amending Councillor Kirby-Young's motion, to the next scheduled council meeting, which I believe is Tuesday, January 31st. I got that right? As unfinished business, to the first item under.
And are you moving that motion, Councillor Dominato?
Amending- Yeah, Councillor Kirby-Young's.
Okay, so we can go to a vote on that motion.
I think so, unless it's debatable, I can't remember.
Okay, all those in favor?
Okay.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. We will now recess.
No, we have to go back into council.
Oh, we need to go into council.
Yeah. Sorry, Adrian.
It's not your fault.
Okay, the standing committee is now recessed till January 31st, 2023. And we will now convene in council to deal with the recommendations and actions from today's committee meeting. Over to you, Deputy Mayor Kirby-Young.
Thank you, Chair Meisner. So we will now convene in council to deal with the recommendations and actions from today's Standing Committee on Policy and Strategic Priorities meeting. And Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Councillor Kirby-Young in the chair. Mayor Sim is not here. Councillor Carr. Councillor Dominato. Councillor Bly, not here. Councillor Boyle. Councillor Fry. Councillor Montague. Councillor Klassen. Councillor Meisner.
Present.
Councillor Joe. You have quorum, Chair Kirby-Young.
Thank you. I need a motion to adopt the Standing Committee's recommendations for items 1 through 8. Councillor Dominato, seconded by Councillor Klassen. And all those in favor, I'll try this as a verbal vote. Yay?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, seeing none, the motion carries unanimously. Can I have a motion to adjourn? So moved by Councillor Klassen, seconded by Councillor Joe. And I'm assuming all in favor?
Aye.
There is no opposition. And we are now officially adjourned this council session. Thank you, everybody, for your work today. And we will see you at our next scheduled council meeting on January 31st. Have a good evening.